All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sunday. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic day. It is getaway day across the MLB 15-game slate. We're going to talk about everyone as always, and I'm going to give you my 4 best bets on the Sunday, half a unit Sundays. Same thing, Thursday, Sundays, just half a unit, unless we really love the plays, but let's just be safe than sorry. So we're going to risk 2 units today. It's just a smart way to play Sunday. Weird things can happen. It's been a weird weekend. Friday and Saturday, we've just seen a lot of extreme scores and swings. It's been pretty crazy. Fun to watch. Not amazing to bet on, but has been fun to watch. All right, recap from yesterday. Gave you guys 6 best bets. We went 3-3, down 0.4 units. So not terrible. Could have been better. Could have been worse. We had the Blue Jays on the money line. They got smoked beyond belief. Should have just taken the over. We had the Yankees -1.5. What the hell was that game? That was crazy. Yankees couldn't get a hit, so they ended up losing 7-0. The under. Yankees in the under, I think, is 15-0-1 in their last 16. They have not hit an over in 16 games. Over-under is 10, by the way, today. We had Brandon Pfaadt under 17.5 outs. That was sweat-free. He only went 15 outs, or 5 innings. We had the Marlins and the D-backs over 8.5. That was pretty sweat-free. I think they hit that in the 4th inning. And then we had the Angels and the Nationals over 9. I believe that was 8-2. So hit that one. And then we had the Guardians on the money line. Felt great about that one. They were up like 4 runs, maybe 5, and they somehow lost. So that one sucked. So 3-3 on the day. We are back at it today. So let's jump into this slate, and we've got to play right away. We've got the Cardinals and the Guardians. We've got Matthew Liberatore going up against Logan Allen. Allen on the season, 5-5, giving up a 2.67 opponent average, 4.25 ERA. Basically stays the same at home. He's got a 4.28 in 7 home starts. Don't love his splits against righties here. 291 average over the last 30 days to righties, 250 to lefties. On the other side, Liberatore, one of those guys where don't mind taking him at home. Gets a little sketchy taking him on the road. He's 5-6 on the season, 3.96 ERA, 254 opponent average. Doing really good lefty on lefty. And obviously, when you cap this Guardians team, you are looking on the left-handed side. But he has given up a 158 average to lefties, 260 to righties. 45% hard hit percentage, and he's struggling a little bit with runners in scoring position with a 297 average. On the road, his ERA jumps a little bit, so he jumps to 4.23 ERA here. Got a play in this one. We are going to take the Guardians plus 2.5, and we're going to pair that with Logan Allen under 4.5K. So when we do that negative correlation, that gets us up to plus 134. I don't see the Cardinals smoking them by 3 runs in this game, but I don't see Logan Allen getting 5 Ks. This Cardinals team is very stingy against Ks on lefties. Over the last 2 weeks, they're only striking out at a 15% clip versus lefties. Over the past week, jumps up slightly to 17%. I think they should be able to get to Logan Allen, but their splits against lefties make me a little nervous in terms of their average. This is the second worst team against lefties in the past 2 weeks, hitting 208, and they are the worst team in MLB over the past week, hitting 144 with a WRC plus of 3. Mind you, 100 means your average, so 3 is really bad. That said, earlier in the season, this Cardinals team was absolutely destroying left-handed pitching, and you've got Logan Allen today. Not exactly a world beater here. This is a guy last year you just blindly faded everything he threw out there, and you were pretty successful. So I do think the Cardinals get to him today. There is some value taking the Guardians. Just don't know if I want to trust them. I kind of have shades to when they were playing in the Ohio Cup against the Reds, and they absolutely tattooed Nick Lodolo. I could see something very similar happening today where they just all of a sudden wake up and start just absolutely hitting some shots here today. Nerfy wouldn't be a bad look in this one. Cardinals 13th in terms of runs scored in the first inning. Guardians are 3rd, and that's terms of 3rd worst. Only scoring 22% of the time. All right, next game. And this one is going to be the Phillies and the Braves. Great pitching matchup today. We get Ranger Suarez going up against Spencer Strider. Suarez 6-2 on the season, giving up a 213 opponent average. Spencer Strider 3-5 with a 203 opponent average. Strider's ERA is 4.07. Still doesn't have a lot of innings under his belt. He's only got 42 innings under his belt. Ranger Suarez 2.08 ERA. That drops to 1.02 in 5 away starts. He has been a stud on the road. Strider 3.18 ERA in 3 home starts. Really, the only thing that makes me nervous here is Strider has struggled a little bit against lefties. They're hitting 294 off of him. Obviously, there's some lefties in this lineup that can do some damage. I wish Bryce Harper was back today. It does look like he might be back tomorrow. But Strider's been good against righties, giving up a 176 average. Strikeout rate goes up against righties, goes down against lefties. Ranger Suarez giving up a 150 average to lefties, 228 to righties. Strikeout rate stays pretty consistent, about 20% to both sides of the plate. His hard hit percentage is stupid low. It's like the best in MLB, 27.8% hard hit percentage, as opposed to Spencer Strider, 42% hard hit percentage. Both of these guys have the exact same average of runners in scoring position of 258. This is probably the squarest play in the world today, but give me the under 8.5. I like it. You do have a Braves team that's hitting lefties well over the past week, but over the past 2 weeks haven't been hitting them that well. I just think they shouldn't have much offensive output today. I think Strider is starting to find his form, looking better. Only thing that scares me about Strider, throws the slider 36% of the time, and the Phillies over the last 30 days are 4th hitting the slider. So I do have some nervousness there. They suck against the curveball and the changeup, which he barely throws about 5% of the time each, and they haven't been fantastic against the fastball. So we'll see. Really just depends on the slider. I don't really love 2-pitch pitchers too much, right? We look at the fastball and the slider. He throws that about a combined 90% of the time. So if one pitch is off, he's probably screwed. I think there's value taking the Phillies. Do I trust them offensively? It's sporadic, man. But I do think there is some value taking the Phillies at plus 118. This is probably one I'll wait if I do want to back the Phillies, but I do like the under, which I've already put my slip in on that. All right, next game, Mets and the Phillies. Or the Pirates, I mean. I was on the Pirates yesterday, so that was good. Plus 1.5. I've been on the plus 1.5 back-to-back days, and it's panned out. Frankie the Fade Montas going up against Mike Burrows. So this one, do I trust Montas? No, absolutely not. We got 5 innings under our belt. He did have 5 Ks in that last start. He dodged some bullets in the first inning. I could see this Pirates team hitting him. Last week, this Pirates team is 2nd best in baseball with a 325 average against right-handed pitchers. Last 2 weeks, it drops to 250, but right now they're kind of on fire. 348 with runners in scoring position, 283 over the past 2 weeks, and you've got a Mets team that's struggling to get runners in. Pirates do give Burrows really good run support, averaging 5 runs a game when he pitches. In terms of Burrows splits, he does okay against lefties, giving up a 217 average. Against righties, it jumps to 290. He's not a K guy, really. Does K out lefties at 25% clip. Righties is 14%. Hard hit percentage, I don't love it. But man, he's been outstanding with runners in scoring position, giving up a 150 average over the past month. That said, this guy's got almost a 5 ERA at home. So am I willing to back the Pirates on the money line? No, but you could still find good value taking them on the run line. So don't have a bet in this one. Probably won't. Montas is just, you're paying too much of a premium for Frankie Montas. So it would be Mets. Probably, I mean, it's a great bounce back spot. The angle, everything here sets up for the Mets to just absolutely destroy them today. Just not sure I can get there or not. This Pirates bullpen somehow has been fantastic over the last 30 days. Got a 2.54 ERA and a 3.58 FIP. 2.54 ERA is 3rd best in the MLB right now. The only thing they don't do is they don't strike out a ton of guys. They're actually 20th over the last 30 days in terms of Ks per 9 at 7.9. Whereas the Mets, their bullpen guys do get a ton of Ks. 7th best in the MLB. So yeah, it kind of goes either way. I'm either a Mets minus 1.5 or a Pirates plus 1.5. I've got this slated as the Mets just smoking them. 6-3 is how I have this scored out. So I guess I would have to lean towards the Mets minus 1.5, but I won't be pulling the trigger on anything in this game, to be clear. Not even going to use the Mets as a parlay piece because I don't call him Frankie the Fade Montas for nothing. All right, next game is going to be the Rays and the Orioles. Rays absolutely just came back with a fury yesterday, and I like them today. Taj Bradley going up against Dean Kramer. I think we're seeing this line because the O's were able to get to Taj Bradley in their little minor league ballpark. But, you know, when I was looking up some data here, when the Rays face a starting pitcher with a whip above 1.3, they're 31-9 on the season. If we look at how they do on the road, they're 11-3 on the road when they face a starting pitcher that has a whip above 1.3. Dean Kramer has a whip of 1.34, 4.60 ERA, 6-7 on the season, 270 opponent average, and he is just getting crushed by lefties. 370 average to lefties, 190 to righties. Does pitch better at home this season. Does have a 2.90 ERA and 5 home starts. Taj Bradley is also better on the road than he is at home, which makes sense. He's got a 3.32 ERA and 7 away starts. I like that Bradley does well against lefties. A lot of the damage on this O's team is going to come from the left-handed side. He's given up a 167 average with a 26% K rate to lefties, 222 to righties with a 29% K rate. Hard hit percentage is fairly low. It's actually very similar to Kramer's. Runners in scoring position, he does do pretty good. He's below the league average. It's about 239, whereas Dean Kramer's 263. It's just one I got to trust this Rays offense against a righty, man. They have been on fire. 322 average over the past 2 weeks, 157 WRC plus. Now, over the past week, things do even out somewhat when we look at these two teams. Rays are hitting 313, O's are hitting 257, but they have the same WRC plus. Means they're hitting for power. So this is just one. I'm going back to the well. I think the Rays win this series here, so give me the Rays on the money line as a best bet. Next game is going to be the A's and the Yankees. Oh my, a blast from the past here. Marcus Stroman is pitching. Yeah. Yankees minus 194 behind Marcus Stroman. I don't think so. I'll never pay that price with Marcus Stroman. Stroman's awful. He is absolute horrendously bad. We've got an over-under of 10. Would love to take the over, but like I said, it's been 16 games since they've hit the over, so not going to take that. 86 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. Couldn't set up better for runs in this one. It would be the Athletics plus 1.5 or nothing for me. I actually have the A's winning this when I project it out. I think it's heavily skewed that Marcus Stroman sucks. So maybe an A's team total over or A's plus 1.5 if you want to play it a little safer. Severino is not someone I necessarily trust. That said, it's been pretty decent on the road, but his splits aren't great. 286 to lefties, 278 to righties. Not striking anybody out. I think if you want to beat this Yankees team, you've got to have some strikeout pitches, and just not seeing that out of Severino. So it's the over or A's on the run line. Just not sure I can get to that over just based on recency trends. It says don't do that. Or A's team total over 4.5. All right, next game is going to be the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Oh, Blue Jays. What the hell was that yesterday? All right, so this is going to be Eric Lauer going up against Walker Buehler. Not sure I can get behind Walker Buehler here. He looked absolutely awful in his last start. His splits aren't great against lefties, giving up a 310 average, although more focused on righties in this one, 238 to righties. Eric Lauer's been fantastic to both sides of the dish, 154 to lefties, 146 to righties. Actually been K'ing righties at a pretty nice clip of 31%. His hard hit percentage is a little high, which scares me. But I kind of like just flipping. They got stomped yesterday. Typically, I want to fade the team that scored a bunch of runs the day before. It's going to be 86 with a 7-mile-an-hour wind blowing in. Do we think we're going to see a good Walker Buehler or not? I don't think so. There's just a Blue Jays team that doesn't strike out much against a Red Sox team that is K'ing against lefties like it's going out of style. They are K'ing at a 30% great against lefties over the last 2 weeks, 33% over the last week. Yeah, it would be Blue Jays or nothing for me. I think this over-under is a little high. If it was 8.5, I would be all in pulling the trigger on the over. So yeah, it would probably be Blue Jays team total over 4.5 at plus money. Would be the only way I would play that game. I have this slated at 5.5 to 4.5 in terms of the game total. So Blue Jays team total over 4.5. I like it. Just fade Walker Buehler. Then we don't have to worry about what the pitching staff does. All right, Padres and the Reds. Stephen Kolek going up against Nick Lodolo. Lodolo's a dude I don't love taking at home. He doesn't pitch well in GABP. And the thing about Lodolo is if he's not getting that inside strike, he's screwed. And umpires just tend to not call it. So then he's got to rely on that the loopy off-speed stuff that he tends to hang. When you hang it, they bang it, especially out of GABP. Weather-wise here, we do have some potential for some rain and storms. It's going to be 84 degrees, 34% chance of precipitation, and a 3-mile-an-hour wind that's going to be slightly blowing out. Stephen Kolek, he's done really well on the road. Has not done well at home, but where he has struggled is left-handed teams that have a lot of lefties. He's given up a 321 average to left-handed hitters over the last 30 days, giving up a 183 average to right-handed hitters. Now, Lodolo, lefty on lefty hasn't been great, 294 against righties, giving up a 247. Hard hit percentage, 42%, but well below Kolek's nearly 50%. Runners in scoring position, Kolek hasn't been great, 326 average over the last 30 days. Lodolo, 221, but man, he's got a 5 ERA on the road. We've got an over-under of 9. It seems just take the over and move on. I think either the Reds pummel Kolek or the Padres wake up and start to put a beating on Lodolo. One play I like in this one, player prop, is going to be Gavin Lux over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at plus 105 on DraftKings. He is over this in 3 straight. I like the way he's swinging the stick. He's a left-handed hitter. So I think he should be able to get to Kolek here. Could give us a home run, could give us a single, drive in an RBI, blah, blah, blah. He's been a fantastic hitter. So I do like the player prop angle there, but it's the over 9 for me. If I had to pick a side, I would lean Padres. Just fading Lodolo at home. Like I said, I like him on the road, but GABP ain't the place for him. All right, next game is going to be the Rockies and the Brewers. Going to be Jermaine Marquez going up against Chad Patrick. Rockies losers of 5 straight, 2-8 in their last 10. Brewers have won 4 straight, 8-2 in their last 10. So inverse there. Do I trust Jermaine Marquez? Hell no. He's 3-9 with a 309 opponent average. Got an ERA of 7 on the road, so it's not like taking him out of Coors improves things much. It would be Brewers on the run line. Brewers on the run line or nothing. I don't have the balls to get behind the Rockies. Now, that said, Rockies in the last game of a series, it's typically when they win. They've only had, 18 wins on the season. And let's see, we can do a thing and see when they win here. All right, Rockies on Sundays are 5-9. So when you've only won 18 games, 5 on one day, maybe there's an angle. But 5-9 still says to fade them. 8-6 on the run line. So they do tend to get their ass kicked. Yeah, it would be Brewers on the run line. I don't necessarily trust Chad Patrick. Got a 3.33 ERA at home in 10 games. Don't love his splits against lefties, but he's doing okay against righties. Hard hit percentage slightly high. Yeah, it's just not. I can't get behind this. Brewers on the run line. That would be the play. All right, Dodgers and the Royals. Dodgers, hello. I don't know what happened to them yesterday, but they did not show up. Chris Bubik going up against a bullpen day for the Dodgers. Ben Kasparius obviously won't be him because he pitched yesterday. Looked terrible. Shohei looked pretty good, but only threw 2 innings. This would be one, I'm probably going to be Justin Wrobleski if I had to guess. I don't trust Justin Wrobleski whatsoever. Chris Bubik on the other side. Bubik started off the season just outstanding. We've definitely seen regression kind of coming back to the mean. You're getting good value to take the Dodgers at minus 105. They are the better team, and I don't think you can argue that. I just don't know if I trust anybody in that bullpen right now. This Dodgers bullpen's been struggling a little bit. 24th in ERA, 21st in FIP, 26th in expected FIP. They're not K'ing a ton of guys, and they're getting a lot of usage, 128 innings over the past 30 days. So really kind of raking up the usage there as the injuries have mounted up with their starting pitchers. So it's a fade for me. Under 9.5 would be the only way I would play this. I think it's a little high, but the wind is blowing straight out today. So it's under or nothing for me. Next game is going to be the Giants and the White Sox. Jonathan Cannon coming back from injury, so he hasn't started in a while. He'll be going up against Justin Verlander. So Verlander 0-5 on the season, giving up a 2.62 opponent average, 4.52 ERA, pretty much stays the same on the road and at home. Jonathan Cannon 2-7 on the season with a 2.66 opponent average. 3.5 ERA at home. Probably not going to be a full pitch load for him since he, was injured. White Sox won 1-0 yesterday. How you don't score a run if you're the Giants, I mean, it's pretty pathetic. But over-under of 8.5 in terms of the weather, it's going to be 93 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind blowing in. Got to remember it's Chicago, so the wind does play a pretty significant factor here. It would probably be, there's just no value here. It's White Sox or nothing. Just not sure I can get to it, but can't back Verlander at this price whatsoever. Cubs and the Astros. We've got Jameson Taillon going up against Framber Valdez. So this is one where you've got a really good pitcher on the Chicago front. Jameson Taillon, not someone I trust on the road. He's got a 5.56 ERA and 8 away starts. Lefties, he's struggling, 250, 185 to righties. Valdez has just been outstanding. He's got a 2 ERA in 8 home starts. Astros against righties have been really good over the past 2 weeks, over the past week. This is a top 8 offense, top 6 in most categories. Only thing that concerns me is they're not really getting it done with runners in scoring position. And the Astros just don't give Valdez a ton of run support, only averaging 3.69 runs per game when he pitches, whereas the Cubs do give Taillon good run support, averaging 5.25, but got to figure some of those games were in Wrigley where there was 20-some-mile-an-hour winds blowing out, so a little bit skewed here. I would lean towards the under 8. I think it could be, there's a little bit of value on the Cubs, but it's under or nothing for me would be the only way I'd play this game. Mariners and the Rangers. Luis Castillo going up against Jack Leiter here. So Castillo on the road has not been good. He's got a 5 ERA on the road. Jack Leiter 4.5 ERA at home. Splits have been pretty good for Leiter against lefties, righties 203. So he's been pitching really well to lefties and righties over the last 30 days. Castillo not so well. 267 to lefties, 243 to righties. Hard hit percentage is high. This is just one where give me the over. We've seen a couple of games now of a lack of scoring, and I feel like the Mariners are going to light up Leiter, and I think the Rangers should be able to get to Castillo. So just give me the over here as the best bet in that game. All right, a couple more games here till we wrap up here. 3 more games. Nationals and the Angels. Mitchell Parker going up against Jack Kochanowicz. Kochanowicz, not somebody I trust. 5.5 ERA going up against Parker and a 5.70 ERA, respectively, home and away. This is one where Parker stinks against lefties, 381 average. Righties, 260. Kochanowicz also not great against lefties. It's just 2 really bad pitchers. Over-under of 10. Can't really get to it. I lean Nationals here. It would be Nationals on the money line or nothing. Still don't mind the over even at 10. These are definitely 2 guys that can serve it up. So yeah, it'd be Nats or the over for me. Marlins and the D-backs. Cal Quantrill going up against Eduardo Rodriguez. Rodriguez, not a guy I trust. He's got a 5.60 ERA at home. That said, Quantrill hasn't been great on the road, but he's looked much, much better over his last 5 or 6 starts. He's only given up, 1 to 3 earned runs. He hasn't really gotten shelled. He just doesn't go long enough is the issue, but he's looked fantastic against lefties, giving up a 150 average. Righties, more success at 317. Hard hit percentage a little high. This would be one over under of 9. It just feels like take the over. Marlins are on fire. They've won 6 in a row, 7-3 in their last 10. It's not like the D-backs have been a great home team either. They're 20-20 on the season. If we look at runs per game over the last 3 games, Marlins are averaging almost 10 runs a game. D-backs are averaging 6. So this is one, it's so close to making the card, but it didn't. But I would lean towards the over 9. I just don't trust either of these pitchers at the end of the day. I don't trust the bullpen for the D-backs. You can get really good value. Marlins plus 160 something is absurd. So Marlins plus 164 or the over, the only 2 ways that I play that. And then our final game on the card is going to be the Twins and the Tigers. Chris Paddock going up against Tariq Skubal. We got an over-under of 7. I like the over here. I think, you look at Chris Paddock. He's got a 5.5 ERA and 9 away starts. 216 average to lefties. Hard hit percentage is pretty high. Runners in scoring position, not great. I think, if the Tigers can get 5, it's not out of the realm. The Twins can get 2. Twins team total over 2.5 is plus money. I have this game slated right at 7. So this would be, there's just not enough value. Like, I can't take the Tigers. It's just heavily out of value. So it would either be the Twins plus 1.5 or the over would be the only way. I'm sorry, Tigers minus 1.5 or the over 7 would be the only way I would play this game. There is some value taking the Twins at plus 244. You never know. They could actually get to them. Over the last week, this has been the best left-handed hitting team in baseball. I don't know how many innings we're talking about here, but they're hitting 533 with a 308 WRC plus, which is insane. But the Tigers are also the Tigers. So they do tend to show up when Tariq's pitching, giving them about 5 runs a game, 5.25. It's going to be 83 degrees with an 8-mile-an-hour wind that's going to be blowing slightly out, and right to left here. So over 7, and Tigers minus 1.5 would be the 2 ways I could play that. All right, let's get our best bets here. So Logan Allen under 4.5 Ks and the Guardians plus 2.5. So some negative correlation there. Gets us to plus 134. Mariners and the Rangers over 8. Like I said, I just don't really love Castillo and Leiter here. I think these 2 teams are both due for a little bit of offensive surge. Phillies and the Braves under 8.5. Squares play on the board today, but that's okay. Two good pitchers, 2 questionable offenses, a little bit streaky. And then our last play is going to be the Rays on the money line. Trusting Taj Bradley here over Dean Kramer. Like I said, I think this line's just like that because Bradley faced them at home and it didn't go great, but love the bounce back here for that. All right, so those are the plays, guys. Let's have a good Sunday, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.